What made me decide to want to speak at Into the Box was the fact that I wanted to be able to give something back. So much has been given to me. I wanted to be able to share my love of the product with others.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons. Tell me some of them. Kurt made me.
The reason I want to speak for Into the Box is because Luis got me in a half Nelson with one hand behind my back. And I was like, all right, tap out, I'll do it.
Number two, Luis made me.
Welcome.
Welcome in.
Welcome to Cold Box Theater.
So that's really kind of a paradox, and that's how we got here. And somehow we're on this ride and I can't get off. I've tried getting off, and I can't. I'm with him.
Stockholm Syndrome, I don't know. I've kind of, grown to get attached to it, even though I was kind of forced into it. So, it is what it is. Counseling will fix a lot of things in a few years.
I wanted to speak it Into the Box because I'm a big believer in giving back things that you've been given.
Recently I've just got more involved with the community. I reached out and went to a couple conferences and really enjoyed them. So when I heard that Cold Box was doing their own Into the Box conference, I really wanted to jump at the chance and see if I could present.
And throughout my life as a web developer, I've had lots of people come alongside of me, give help, give mentoring, just give lots of support. It has helped make me a better developer than I could have ever been on my own. And so I love any opportunities that I can have to help give back to others. So I'm hoping that through Into the Box I can help share the expertise that I've gained through my experience and share that with someone else and hopefully help them as well.
RESTful APIs, which Cold Box is very good at, is a passion of mine. It's something that I work with very much, and I really wanted to be able to share with it. Our company is one of the co-sponsors of this convention, and so it provided me a good opportunity to speak about it.
After I got a couple of sessions with good folks at Seed Objective, I decided that Into the Box would be, definitely a positive, and submitted it, and happily got a session approved. So speaking Into the Box would be great. Just getting out with the community, and then obviously giving back too. Sharing what I've learned as I have across time. So.
Luis put out a call for speakers, and I'm always interested in getting in on the first floor with a new conference, but I've been using Cold Box for almost 5 years and nothing else right now. I've used Mach 2 in the past, and I've looked at some of the other frameworks that are out there, and with what I do at my company right now, I can't see how else we could have built what we have without Cold Box. There's no other framework that really kind of covers all that stuff, and I really wanted to contribute back to the framework and pass on some of the lessons learned that I've gained over the years.
When Luis asked me to speak Into the Box, then it was no question, since I'm so a big evangelist for Cold Box and all the box products, and also I like Luis and what he does and how he is, so it was no question to be here.
Web development means everything to me. My 10-year-old daughter asks me sometimes, Daddy, what is web development? What is Cold Box? And I tell her, well, it's everything.
Web development to me is really just a passion. I love coding and making something with the code that I write. It's just a very rewarding experience to me.
As sad as it might be, and geeky as it is, web development's my life. I work day in, day out, providing for my family, which I love and adore. It provides, a home and everything for my family. But it's also the drive and the passion that I have with web development. Everything I do is around web development. On my iPad, I read web development articles. I watch videos on YouTube. That's what I do. So in and out, the web is everything to me.
To me, web development means taking the best that technology has to offer right now to give people tools on the internet to do things that they not only enjoy but are very useful in their everyday lives.
What does web development mean to me? I am passionate about user interface. I make pretty what Kurt makes work. Yeah, I like to make things work. I think making it look pretty is just a waste of time. So that's pretty much what he does all day is waste time.
Nice. I thought the same thing about him, actually. That's crazy.
Web development, to me, it's really been my whole life for about the last 15 or so years, and what it's meant not just to me but to other people is basically making other people's lives easier. We're able to go through and automate a lot of very laborious processes and make things easier for people to manage or for companies to streamline a lot of their processes, and the just benefits that you get from all that sort of stuff has just been really meaningful to me. It goes more than just user interface, making something look pretty, but making something function very well and making it easy to use is really my top priority. When at the end of the day, that's if you can't look at something and figure out how to use it immediately, then you haven't worked hard enough at it. And I work hard at pretty much all aspects of this thing.
Web development, what does it mean to me? It's problem solving, right? It's like doing puzzles in your head all day long. So there's joy in seeing a problem, breaking it down into small pieces, and trying to solve the issue. But at the end of the day, it's about making money.
Web development is for me completely redefined since I work with Coldbox, and it means for me to focus on the core parts of my customers' needs and of what the end user really wants. And if I have fun doing it, then it's the greatest job you can have in the world.
I've done lots of other things in my life, different jobs, but being in web development has really just connected with the things I'm passionate about. And when I am working on a bit of code here, or helping design a website there, or building a web application, I don't feel like I'm doing work. I feel like I'm doing something that I really enjoy. And what more could you ask for than that?
Web development. What does web development mean to you? What does it mean to you? I don't know. To understand web development, you have to break it into its two parts, webda and elephant. Now, I don't know what those two things mean, but I know what an elephant is. So if we can just crack the issue of the webda, then we can solve the overarching problem of the web to elephant problem that plagues our society today, and world peace. All right, what do I want to experience in the conference? I hope to be able to wrestle a greased pig. I'm really looking forward to maybe skydiving and meeting Aerosmith. If I could do those in the conference, that would absolutely make the day.
I want to experience espresso.
A cold box convention or a box convention has been something we've looked forward to for a long time. It's neat to get not only members of the community together that are good at this, enjoy this, and making and using these products, but also bringing together people who are interested in them. So what I'm looking forward to is the fellowship, the camaraderie of people that enjoy these products and know how to use them well.
Yeah, I heard the barista here does a really nice job. So I'm definitely looking forward to coffee, espresso. Also, I'm going to try to avoid, there's somebody speaking here named Luis, so I'm going to try to avoid him. I heard he's kind of angry sometimes, so I'm going to make sure that I stay away from him.
He's an angry.
Also, the doctor here is here, so I'm hoping to get a ride in the TARDIS.
Really?
Really.
So what I want to experience, I just want to see how other people are using the Coldbox family of the frameworks, to hear all the exciting new news that Luis and the team are going to have. Looking forward to those things, and just getting to know the community better, because we got some really great people in the community.
Try not to set the expectations too high, but if I was able to meet the President of the United States as well, that would be the fourth thing I would hope to accomplish in the conference.
Well, I hope to experience some things that I'd like to get stronger in. Caching, always looking to up the ante on caching. Always looking to improve how I generate my UI. I understand Joel has come up with a new menu builder to help build mega menus. I'm hoping to be able to get into that.
I'm really excited about Into the Box because, over the last year and a half, I've really had an opportunity to get to know a lot of people online through, different developer groups and just talking with other people who use the different products that I work with. And it's just, I think it's going to be a great opportunity to meet those people, put a face with a name, and just get to know everybody a little bit better and help to build those relationships.
Well, the conference is going to be exciting for a few reasons. There's a lot of good developers and speakers here, and there's a lot of great content. Obviously, any time spent with Luis, one of the founders of the biggest frameworks around, is always a positive. And there's some other big community members here too, so it'd be good to hang out with the best of the best, and that's something really positive with the community. There's some great sessions. There's some NoSQL that I'd really like to get to know. Brad Wood's doing a session on that, and there's some other sessions on ORM which I'd like to dive deeper into as well. Legacy is always haunting us, so Adrian Marino is doing Convert Your Legacy Code. So there's a lot of great sessions there. To be honest, as usual, there's too many sessions and not enough time. But I'm looking forward to seeing some good content, meet some good people, and hanging out with some good friends now too. So the Coldbox bootcamp that I attended last year was great. The Coldbox Developer Week is great. So I want to build upon the friendships and the development professional friends that we have in this community, and it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
In my past, I've discovered that it's a really beneficial thing for me, a really enjoyable thing for me as well, to be able to meet people, learn from them, and hopefully reciprocate that as well. So my biggest thing I'm hoping to take away from Into the Box is just some new friends, new relationships that I can build on for the future.
It's neat to get not only members of the community together that are good at this, enjoy this, and making and using these products, but also bringing together people who are interested in them. So what I'm looking forward to is the fellowship, the camaraderie of people that enjoy these products and know how to use them well.
This conference, there's a lot of really good sessions going on, and there's one in particular about behavior-driven development, and another regarding securing Cold Fusion applications that I'm really interested in, and I'm really hoping to get that whiz-bang moment, that thing that just kind of hits you like lightning. That's like, oh, wow, that's something I hadn't even considered doing that can solve some problem that I've had, or something that I've heard somebody else has had a problem with, and just looking for those kind of moments, the things that just strike you out of nowhere. That's like, oh, that's such a simple solution to this complex problem that I have. That's what I'm hoping to find.
I would like to see people going home with shiny eyes, and they have a feeling of, now I learned something new, and you see them returning to other conferences, maybe speaking in future conferences. That would be really, really, really cool.
If myself could go back into the past to talk to my past self, I would say get started earlier with the web development. I wasted a lot of years just kind of floating around job to job trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So if there's one thing I could tell myself, just be like, start a lot earlier. Because I've grown a lot over the last 7 or 8 years in web development, but I can only imagine how far I'd be if I had started, even sooner than I did. So get started as soon as you can. That's my biggest advice.
First of all, I would say be object-oriented, don't do anything else. Like, use design patterns, do your stuff correctly, refactor, go into all the features of Coldbox, find out how they work, what they can do for you, and then you find out that your work will be much, much more easy. And I wouldn't have spent 15 years of my 20 in CFML without Coldbox then.
So what advice would I give myself? I would say to start using a framework earlier, right? So everyone, I think, kind of did what we did and tried to come up with their own framework and wasted a lot of time doing that. Just picking a framework, any framework, particularly Coldbox, would have been a smarter move to get on early, and to also make sure to talk to Fox before they canceled Firefly.
What would I have told myself years ago, based on what I know now, would be to follow up on the ideas that you have, because they're not as stupid as they may sound, especially not to other people. You tell them some crazy idea you have for having a website where anybody can upload their artwork and organize them and put them into galleries, and then galleries, actual physical galleries can put together shows and that sort of stuff, and those things made millions for other people, and it's just a matter of following up on these ideas, figuring out how to implement those things. There are tons of ideas out there that people have that they haven't acted on, and it's not just for the money, you know, it's kind of for the community benefit in some cases too. So if you have an idea, go for it. You know, if, at the very least, if it doesn't work, at least you know you've tried.
Well, knowing what I know now, I definitely wouldn't have went into business with this guy. That right there, looking back, horrible idea. Other than that, definitely would not have went to CF Objective 6-7 years ago and met another guy. I tell you, just meet people and it's hard.
It was a bad,
people.
That was a bad chapter.
People is what life's about.
If I could go back and tell myself something specific, you know about this one. Back when I was teaching a class, I was still in college in 2000.
This is good.
Which one are you thinking of?
Oh.
I was teaching a class and we came up with an idea. It was a lot like movie rentals online, where you'd go on the website and you'd pick the movie.
And they would just ship it right to your house?
They'd ship it right to your house. And so
did you fall asleep during this? Because is it called Napster?
No,
not that
Napster. There's a current service it's called Netflix. But I would go back and I would tell myself to go with that idea because it's golden.
LazyRenter.com.
LazyRenter.com. Woo!
Also, I definitely would not have held hands with certain people across the finish line at the cross-country conference meet at the end.
If I could go back to when I started doing this and tell myself, I would say experiment, experiment, try things, try things, try things. Don't be worried about doing it right the first time, but just try and push and try and push, because you never know when you're going to find a way of doing something that you didn't see before.
Well, I started off pretty young with web development. I got into it learning in college and playing around, and so I was kind of lucky compared to a lot of people that I started right away. But there's a few things that I would have probably wished I'd done differently, and the major thing would be community. Twitter and Google+, Facebook is all pretty new right now, but the community still existed before now, and I didn't get involved as I should have. I wasn't, reading as many blogs as I do now. Obviously, I read a few, Benadell and a few others like that were, sort of the popular blogs of the day, but I didn't really reach out and talk to people. I didn't go to enough conferences. That would have made the world of difference, I think, in my development cycle. I was always the big fish in a little pond as far as development goes, so I was always learning and pushing, but I could have learned faster. I could have learned from smarter people quicker. So if I could go back, I would have said, reach out, touch the community more, get out there, get involved more, and learn from those people out there, because this community has a lot of really amazing people, and not just with their talents, but also their personalities too. They're willing to help, they want to help the community grow, and I think if I touched that sooner, if I got out there, I would have been 10 times the developer I am now. So as lucky as I was to get a good start in things and have the right path, this would have helped a lot more, and I'm just happy to be able to get to these conferences now, whether I'm speaking them or attending at them, meeting all these people and sharing in that experience. So that's probably what I would have changed, but I'm happy where I'm at. It could have been better.
Give myself knowing what I know now. Well, I'd probably start with all the winning lottery numbers. I would go ahead and give those to me. Every traffic ticket I've gotten for speeding, I would go ahead and just text myself the day before and be like, slow down. I might go ahead and let myself know the endings to a few movies that weren't really worth sitting through, and that way I would just know the end and I wouldn't have to actually watch the full movie. So with an appropriate time machine, I would just relay that information straight back to the former me.
That's a great question. Knowing what I know now, the advice I would give myself is, don't be afraid. Jump in. Try everything and anything. It won't kill you. It won't hurt you. And the one thing, the most important thing, embrace object-oriented programming.